Hi, and welcome back to The Word Made Glass. We're in our fourth week, where we're looking at the stained glass windows in the nave of First United Methodist Church. And this is the fourth installment out of 5 that have to do with the Hebrew Bible. And today we're talking about David. David was the third king in the kingdom of Israel, and is associated with a lot of stories that we know from the Bible. Now, Saul was the first king of the kingdom of Israel, but he messed up. And so in secret, the prophet Samuel anointed David to become king one day. David was the youngest of Jesse's 8 sons, and worked in the fields as a shepherd. So our window shows that. We see David with a small sheep and with his shepherd's staff, which is actually the root of where our bishops carry what's called a crozier, or a shepherd's staff, to symbolize them as the shepherd of their flock. In the scene portrayed in our window, David is playing his lyre. The king Saul was tormented by an evil spirit, and so he called David to his court and would calm Saul with his music and with his words. Below that, we have one of the most well-known stories from the Bible, David fighting Goliath. We see small David, a young, unarmored boy, fighting against Goliath, the Philistine giant. David was able to defeat him with just a slingshot and some stones. On the top of the window is the crest, and it contains 3 really important symbols. There's the crown, that represents David's royalty. There's the horn of oil, which contained the oil that Samuel used to anoint David king over Israel. And finally, there's what we know as the Star of David, or the Shield of David. While this symbol doesn't appear in the Bible, it references God's rule over the universe. God rules in all the directions, north, south, east, and west, as well as up and down. Thus, the 6 points on the star. And its name, the Star of David, or the Shield of David, comes from the Jewish Shabbat blessing. Blessed are you, O God, Shield of David. David is important to our faith for many reasons, but one of the most important parts we have are the Psalms. Our Bible contains 150 Psalms. David isn't the only writer, but David contributed a lot to our book of Psalms. So our second window for today brings to life the very last Psalm, Psalm 150. The text of the Psalm in the window says, "Praise ye the Lord, praise God in his sanctuary." And you can look up the Psalm, Psalm 150. It tells us about different ways that we praise God. We praise God with the loud-sounding trumpet, with tambourine and the dance, and with the stringed instruments, so the lyre and the harp that we saw David playing earlier. This image is joyful and exciting, and you can really just see how excited all of these characters are to be praising God as they look up to God while playing their instruments. The crest of this window has a sun showing God's magnificent power, and the Hebrew text for Adonai, which is one of the many names for God in the Hebrew Bible. So while there may be quite a few Psalms, the designers of our window chose to do this very last one and encourage us as we worship God in our sanctuary to lift up our voices and our instruments with such excitement as the people in this image. We have one more set of windows next week to finish off the set of 5 from the Hebrew Bible, and then we'll start into our New Testament windows. I'll see you then.